one of the law firm FG&B, and the G does not stand for Gino, it stands for Gordon. Like that one, huh?
I do like that one, yeah.
Even in my infirmity.
I'm not sure Gino isn't auditioning a little bit, I'll tell you what.
Is there, you could probably use him as a,
No.
no?
No.
Just somebody, you know what I'm saying?
For what, Tom?
I'll have to think about that, but he certainly does his homework. He keeps me on my toes. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
He'd be a good person to be as a buffer. If you're going to try something different, you bring him in and you throw things off of him. You know,
I'd like to throw things off of him.
Yeah, I know.
I think not in the context that you're referring to.
No, I know.
Oh boy,
he's a character,
yes,
and it's good to hear from him. And always fun to do.
It came out in today's paper, but one of the things that is happening across the country is these juvenile detention facilities, you know, such as Crossroads. Now Crossroads are thinking about closing that, but the life sentences for juveniles.
It's struck down as being unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. I think again on a 5-4 vote, and
yes, it was.
And that affects Florida, and I think they basically said that the state imposing a life sentence without the possibility of parole on a juvenile who even has committed murder, because it's almost always going to be murder that results in a life sentence without the possibility of parole. That is, I think, cruel and unusual punishment, and that you can't do that. You have to give the young person some opportunity to rehabilitate himself or herself while in prison, go before the parole board and show that they're rehabilitated at some point in time in their life, perhaps allow them to be released from prison. So
are you talking about anyone under 18?
Yeah, right. Anybody that's juvenile but that is tried as an adult, which you can do in the state of Florida if the crime is heinous enough. Yeah. And the court said, no, we're not going to, that's going too far, we're not going to allow that. And so therefore, those young people now will go into the system. They'll be sentenced to life, ostensibly, but not without the possibility of parole. They will have the possibility of parole if they can convince the parole board and or the governor at some point down the line.
And it's not going to be 10, 15 years. It'll be more like 30,
I don't think so,
30, 40 years.
Yeah, I still think the sentences are going to be lengthy, as well they should be. But it's just not going to be an automatic life sentence with no possibility of ever being released for probation, no matter what you do in prison. So that was an interesting decision as well. There's all kinds of, we've got the healthcare law on Thursday, and who I guess Las Vegas has got. You can bet on this.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's your take?
Oh boy, we've been discussing that in the office, Tom. Yeah. I don't know what to expect. Paul Spatafora, my young associate, and I were discussing this, and he predicted that no matter what the decision is, that Roberts will write the decision, the Chief Justice, and I think he's right about that.
Sure.
So my prediction is kind of a split the baby type thing. I think they may throw out part of it. If they throw out the mandatory aspect of it, though, then that affects the pre-existing condition problem, because if people are not required to get insurance, well, the healthy young people aren't going to get insurance. Then they're going to get it when they get sick, and then under they couldn't be refused coverage because of a pre-existing condition. So that doesn't work. That dynamic doesn't work any longer. It's kind of, you throw out the baby, the bathwater goes too. Right. So I don't know. It's going to be fascinating to see what comes out. It's going to be obviously a political football for both parties as we go forward. One of the things that we need to discuss, and we're not going to discuss it fully today, but there's been major, as we do, as you know, lots and lots of accident work. Jay Gordon and I do, and the PIP law, which we've had in this state for, gosh, I want to say 30 years now, I guess, Jeff. The no-fault law, it's called as well, where we've all got $10,000
at least
for medical payments under our policy. That's been dramatically changed in Florida, effective here in the fall. And so on the next show, I want to come in and talk to people about that so that you know what to expect. It's not a situation anymore where you just go to a chiropractor or go to a massage therapist or go to whomever after an accident and expect your insurance company necessarily to pay the first $10,000. It's not going to work like that anymore, and there's going to be restrictions on certain medical treatment and care that people need to be aware of. There's going to be kind of there's going to be provisions where you need to go see a medical doctor or go to the hospital emergency room first before you seek additional care. You can have your benefits limited to $2,500 instead of $10 under certain circumstances, and I don't want people to be blindsided by this. So we're going to talk about that in some detail, you know, in the shows to come.
Good morning. You're on the show.
Good morning.
Hi, Tony.
How are you? Nice to hear your voice, Tony. Yeah. I heard you mention that this morning. Right. But access is a problem. Well, that's you know, and that's all governed by federal law. There are requirements for access, and if they're being violated, they need to be corrected. And what you need to do, actually, is lodge a formal complaint with the particular establishment, and then, yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah, because I mean, going to the mayor was a good idea because you want political action. But I hear what you're saying.
Would it be planning council though? I mean, planning tells them where to build it.
Yeah, they can, but that's when they get their permits, Jeff, and theoretically, when all these restaurants were permitted down there, they had to meet requirements for handicapped access. And I think Tony's saying he's not necessarily sure that that's true. I have no doubt what he's saying is, I haven't, fortunately,
right.
I haven't had to face that situation, but you've got an older community in terms of downtown Punta Gorda being retrofitted after the hurricane, really, and all these gourmet restaurants and nice restaurants came into town, and then you're trying to kind of, you know, it's kind of a square peg in a round hole, or vice versa, however that goes, and you know, you got to, but they have to provide reasonable handicap access. Now, let's face it, in a situation like we're dealing with right now, where the streets are underwater, and you know, I don't think they can be required to anticipate that. You're talking about every day. Yeah,
Walmart.
Yeah. Yes. Right. But right. But there is access, there is a ramp, there is handicapped access, but you're saying it's not easily accessible. I know, but I'm not sure, I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure that violates, you know, federal laws. I don't think they necessarily have to have it right in front of the
no, they don't.
store. Right. Well, we can't. My goodness, if we can't legislate against stupidity, we'd never get the job done, would we? Well, listen, I think you've done the right thing in terms of Punta Gorda and talking to the mayor. I would actually complain to each restaurant and establishment where you think this is a problem. You know, they do take that seriously. We have a lot of handicapped folks in Charlotte County, right? I mean, and that want to go out to dinner, want to spend their money, and these restaurants want these folks to be able to get there, and I think it's a good idea to bring that to the attention. You know, the squeaky wheel gets the grease there, Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
But that's all they're required
That's
by
all
law.
yeah.
That's clear. That's all they're required. Right, and like you say, people that are there, a lot of them are in wheelchairs. That's why they're there. They need the therapy. Your
Yeah.
point is a good one. Talk to the people at the establishments and call us back and let us know how you make out in a couple of weeks. I'd be interested to know what the response is, okay?
It's gonna go all back to the city council and how they
Well-
maintain and planning and everything else like that.
Yeah, but he's saying it's beyond the confines of Punta Gorda as well,
Yeah.
Charlotte County.
Good morning, we're gonna take a break for weather, we'll be back with your phone call in just a second, Tommy.
Thanks, Hippo. Good morning, everyone. Well, Debbie remains Debbie, and she's a tropical storm, and she has maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour. She is just south of Apalachicola, moving, or trying to move east. And with that, we have coastal flooding and high surf advisory in effect today until 8 o'clock, and flood watches in effect throughout the day and early evening hours. Okay, heavy rains. The rain bands are just swishing around out there, and we'll have windy days, winds out of the southwest, 15 to 20 miles per hour, gusting to 30. I'll get it out yet, folks. Highs will be 86 to 90, and tonight we're going to have mostly cloudy skies, 60% chance of rain, low 76 to 81. Wednesday,